Hey everyone, Brian here from Vintage Classic Specialist. Happy Monday everyone. It is time for another episode of Day in the Life of Vintage Classic Specialist. So let's start off with Rafa's day here, not necessarily in chronological order. Let's talk about this thing first. So this 66 bus came in originally for a headliner and safari windows and maybe some electrical stuff. I think the headlights weren't working. Seemed like it could have been something minor. Anyway, just to get you up to speed on this bus, we did, of course, do the headliner, which, of course, came out amazing. Thank you to our magician, Santiago, that does our upholstery. Anyway, so, but then, we started crawling around the bus, and guys, we just keep finding things. So the major thing, which it is in the middle of right now, is brakes, because it looked like some or most of the wheels had leaky cylinders. Master cylinder was leaky, and even as frightening, or maybe more, one of the hard lines had been being sawed. Is that a word? Through? Rubbed? Whatever. Rubbed through by the clutch cable. So we pretty much ripped out the entire brake system, hard lines, everything, and we're starting from scratch. However, today Rafa was working on that, putting the pedal assembly, which also needed some love, back together. And let me show you what else he found while he was crawling around under this bus. So we knew that something was going on with the front, because that tire wear, super uneven, which tells you that something is amiss, but I was kind of assuming it was maybe just an alignment thing. I don't know. I hadn't really got around to checking it yet. However, today, Mr. Rafa was crawling around under here, and hopefully I can show you this clearly. There it goes. I don't know if you can see how much that's moving, because I'm probably not holding the camera super steady. But the link pin, which is the big pin that runs through this assembly here, that basically gives you steering. So link pin is the one that runs up and down that gives you steering. Kingpin is the one that runs up and down and gives you steering. And then link pins are the ones that give you suspension, essentially. So, but anyway, yeah, so the link pin itself rides in, of course, bushings, and apparently these are really toast. And again, you probably couldn't tell because I was having a hard time holding the camera absolutely still and moving this assembly. But it's, I don't know, I don't think it's an 1/8 of an inch movement, but it's a lot. And so that pretty much explains what's going on with the tires. The whole thing, obviously, is sitting, canted like this, like positive camber, because of that wear in there, and that's what's causing the tire. So pretty much with these, you got to pull the whole spindle assembly out and then rebuild it with new link pin bushings, which have to, I don't know why I keep calling them link pin, kingpin bushings, which have to be reamed, of course. And it's a pretty big job, but we can't just ignore this. So I told the owner already, and he's just kind of like, well, I hope you quit finding stuff. I mean, obviously I'm sure he's quite thankful that we're finding stuff, but anyway, yeah, so here you can see where we found at least one wheel cylinder bad. I think at least one of the back ones, the same thing, where you can tell that it had been flinging brake fluid everywhere. So yeah, anyway, now that's all got to come apart, and that's going to kind of interrupt the brake job, because obviously this whole spindle assembly comes off, and you can't really do the brake assembly when that's all off. So yeah, we're going to pull that off in the morning, and then Brian Roth does that because he has the tooling and the press and stuff to do king and link pins. So drop those off with him, and he'll get on with it. So yeah, guys, that was part of Rafa's day. As I did mention, he also put the brake pedal assembly back together up underneath here. You can kind of see it here with the new master cylinder that we put in. So at least that part is in. And then I guess he did already run all the new hard lines. And then I guess he can go ahead and do the rear wheels. But yeah, until we get these king and link pins sorted out, we won't really be able to finish the brakes on this bus. So yeah, the customer bought the bus out of Florida. Obviously I have no idea what he paid for it, but yeah, we found a lot of issues with this bus that are kind of serious. So I hope he got a good deal on it, because he is having to spend, I think, a lot of unplanned on expenses on it to you know, essentially make it safe, really, guys, which of course we take very seriously here. So anyway, that was part of Rafa's day. Another part of his day, or the other part of his day, was doing a couple things on our favorite barn door here, and that is installing seat belts. So the owner of this bus, he got this thing to drive, guys. He wants to drive this thing, and so we went ahead and put some seat belts in it, and which obviously a 54 bus would not have come with, but at least we managed to get some period correct looking ones with the very coarse webbing on them and stuff like that. The brown looks really at home in here. And so yeah, Rafa went ahead and mounted those. You can kind of see mounted up underneath here. So you gotta drill through the body and then put giant washers up underneath there to reinforce them. So those are all installed. And then I don't know where it is at the moment, but he also started restoring a correct jack for the bus, which we didn't which it didn't have with it. However, let's see, maybe it's, oh, here it is, guys. So there's the jack. So the top is aluminum, and that is he kind of not really polished it, but kind of gave it like a brushed finish on there. And then the other thing is a rear view mirror, which the buses, I don't want to touch it because it's probably wet, but the buses didn't really come with a inside rear view mirror. So Rafa again had one in his stash and cleaned it up and painted it. And so that'll be going in too. And then the other thing, which I'm in the process of trying to order off the Samba, is a hand crank for starting the bus. And I don't expect that he'll ever actually use it, but in a way it's just a cool, I guess you can't really call it an accessory because the buses came with it, but whatever you want to call it, it'd be cool to have. And we'll make a little bag for it, and it'll go under the front seat where they went. That jack goes under the front seat as well. So yeah, guys, just some last little details on that barn door. I mean, it's done, and it's a amazing running, driving bus, but yeah, a few little details like that. And then again, just some more miles to get some more confidence in it. So that pretty much takes care of Rafa's day. So for myself, which I don't have a lot to show for it, I did take over some things for the white and soon to be green 67 Beetle over to powder coating, and for sandblasting, pretty much suspension components. And then after that, I turned my attention to this beauty here, the 68 One Family Ghia, and just kind of continuing on components for its motor. And so today I took so I don't remember if I talked about this in much detail. The carburetor for that car, which is a 30 PICT 2, had some issues, and so I was able to get a donor carburetor that was missing some parts but had what I needed from Brian Roth over at Roth Vintage. And so one of the things I needed was a new top, because that one had a crack in it right here, and this was deformed and stuff like that. So I robbed the top out of the donor one, and I think a couple other parts on it that were nicer, some hardware that was nicer, and or incorrect on the one that came with the car. So between those two, I have, I think now, a super nice carburetor. And I spent some time preparing the parts for that, all the steel parts for zinc plating. So probably go ahead and take those over pretty soon. As soon as I collect some more zinc plating for that motor from some of the other parts, then drop a load off with zinc, and then this can start to go back together. The other thing that I worked on this afternoon for it was the generator itself. So went ahead and pulled it apart, and guys, it was ugly. However, look at it now. Ooh, pretty, huh? Yeah, this thing was super ugly, and now looks like new, maybe better than new. And then, so that's the body, obviously, and then the front cap here, and the rear cap, and the armature here. And so there you go. Yeah, clean those all up. The bearing on the front was actually felt pretty bad, and I sprayed some lubricant in it and got it freed up, but I don't necessarily trust it now. So I went ahead and removed that bearing, and I'm going to get a new bearing from it. I saw Wolfsburg West has them. There's also a bearing house up the street from us, so I may just pop by there and get one. But either way, I don't really trust this bearing. The other bearing, the rear bearing, felt fine, but the front one was like almost seized up. So went ahead and again, even though I freed it up, I don't trust it. It'll probably be noisy, so it's getting a new bearing there. And then while I was painting the body there, I went ahead and painted the generator stand, which I had previously sandblasted, so got it looking all pretty too. So those were kind of the main things for my day. It was on the 67 Beetle and the 68 Ghia. Let me show you guys a little bit of Santiago's day, because he's been working more on the upholstery for this beauty, the 70 Ghia. And today he went ahead and put all the leather in the back seat area there. So I believe that is all done now, and came out amazing, as we expect from him and his work. So that's in, and now he is working on we call them chorizos. They're the like padded strips that kind of run along the inside of the pillars here. And here, I can show you on this one. So these and these, he typically makes those out of the correct upholstery material for the car. We call them chorizos, chorizo like sausage. Honestly, I don't know what they're called in English, but my guys call them chorizos, and that's what they call them in Spanish. So anyway, chorizos. He's in the process of making those now for this one. And then he finished the back seat, guys, and this thing looks killer. Let me show you guys this real quick. Look at that, guys. It's obviously not centered because the lines all do line up. There we go. Yeah, look at that, guys. So pretty. And again, this is leather. This is the real deal here. So yeah, very hard to work with because it doesn't stretch or form as nicely as vinyl, but the end result, I mean, just amazing. And I talked to the owner, and he wanted double stitch around the edges, so that's what we did. And I don't think I ever showed you guys the seats either. So here are the seats all done, and of course the headrests also double stitched. So yeah, guys, just amazing. I think the owner is going to be very happy with these seats. And the door panels, which we had done previously, are kind of stacked up back here, and he went with a slightly contrasting color, a little bit lighter. You can see there next to there. Yeah, so those he finished a while ago, and I probably showed you those. But yeah, now the seats are done, front and back seats are done. The interior, well, I want to say vinyl, but leather in this case, is done in the back seat area, and then just needs to make the chorizos and finish putting the carpet in up front there. So yeah, interior on this one's almost done, guys. And other than that, Mr. Rene worked on the paint and body, kind of the final prep now for painting of the 67 Beetle, which by the way is going to be Java green. And Raul, I don't know what he was working on today. I think he was also working on the 67 Beetle. Yeah, some kind of like final details up underneath the heater channels and stuff like that on the 67 Beetle. So that would be it for today, guys. So appreciate you all watching very much. Thank you for all your comments. I always enjoy the conversations with you guys. And thank you, of course, also for likes and subscriptions. And we'll see you again soon. Bye.